Welcome students, welcome again to my new lecture. I am Mohammad Tanvir Ahmed, lecturer, Department of Civil Engineering, World University of Bangladesh. Outline of the lecture. In our previous lecture, we have discussed about the theory of septic tank, and here in this lecture, we will discuss the design procedure of septic tank, and here we will also perform a design example of septic tank. Treatment and disposal of sludge and scum. When tank is covered by 2/3 of its volume, then sludge and scum need to be cleaned. As septic tank effluent consists of pathogenic microorganisms, so cleaning must be done with caution. Normally, a septic tank usually dislodged in every 2 to 5 years. In some countries, septic tank effluents used as soil conditioner to improve soil and also as food for fish. Disposal of septic tank effluent. As we know, septic tank partially treated the effluent into the septic tank, so septic tank effluent will not be discharged in open surface freely. It needs some pre-treatment or have to be discharged in a controlled way so that no pathogenic organisms can spread any further way. Septic tank effluent can be disposed into a subsurface soil absorption, and it is usually the best method. Subsurface exploration means to store the effluent into the soil, but from a reasonable distance from the groundwater table to prevent groundwater from contamination. Generally, there are three types of subsurface soil absorption. First one is absorption trenches, then second one is absorption pits or shockwave pits, and these are common in our countries. Another and the last one is disposal to nearby sewerage systems, and it is commonly known as SBS system. Here, this is the total system of a septic tank. Excreta from the toilet will come into the septic tank through this inlet pipe. Here, after some digestion and distillation, the effluent will be discharged through this pipe, and generally this discharge, effluent can be discharged by these two systems. One is shockway, and here in the shockway, the liquid waste with excreta will digested aerobically and mixed with the soil. And the other option is small bore sewerage system, and with this small bore sewerage system, the effluent water or effluent solids directly enters into the main sewer in the road, and this water or this waste is treated somewhere in the treatment system, and this is the common practice or the total description of the septic tank. Let's see the design procedure of septic tank. First item is scum storage. Scum is the lightweight particles that will store in the top of the septic tank, and scums normally accumulate 30 to 40% at a rate to sludge accumulates. That means scum will be 30 to 40% of the sludge, and sludge is the particles that will settle at the bottom of the tank. If we see the picture of the tank, we will clear it. This is the scum storage, and it is the top, and it is in the top of the septic tank, and it is the sludge storage zone which is at the bottom of the tank. So this storage will be 30 to 40% of the sludge storage. So we will take the maximum value 40%, and volume of scum will be 40% of sludge, that means 0.4 of sludge. Volume of, that means VSC is the volume of scum and VSL equal to volume of sludge, that means scum volume will be 40% of sludge volume. The second item is sedimentation. First we need to calculate the time required for sedimentation. From this equation we can easily calculate the time required to sediment in the septic tank. Here TH is the minimum mean hydraulic retention time and will be in days. P is the contribution population, that means the number of people or number of population uses that septic tank. Q is the wastewater flow per person per liter per person per liter per day, and the value of TA is, that means this value should not be less than 0.2 days, that means it will always be greater than 0.2 days. From this equation we can say that if the number of population P increases, the time for sedimentation will decreases. So how it is possible if more persons uses this tank and sedimentation time will decreases? An example I can say that as more person will use the latrine, the more will be the excreta load in sedimentation tank, and as a result the density of the sludge in the sedimentation tank will also increase. As the density of the sludge will increase, they will sediment early and thus reducing the time to sediment, and this is the reason for that the number of persons, more the number of persons uses the tank, the time will decreases. Then the volume of sedimentation tank we can calculate using this equation, and here P is the population, number of population uses the tank, Q equal to wastewater flow per person per liter per day, and TA is the time required for sedimentation, and this 10 to the power minus 3 is to convert this item from liter to meter cube. As Q is in liter, the total item will be in liter, and we know 1000 liter equal to 1 meter cube. So this 10 to the power minus 3 terms here is to convert this liter into meter cube. So the volume of BH will be in meter cube. Then we have to calculate the digestion time of the sludge, and we can calculate the time for digestion by these two equation, and it depends, we can see it depends only this term T, and here T is the temperature in degree Celsius. We can use any one of these two formula to calculate the digestion time. Then the volume of sludge can be calculated using this formula. Here the volume of fresh sludge is assumed 1 liter per person per day. This is the volume of fresh sludge, and this fresh sludge digested in TD days, as we have seen that digestion takes place in TD days or TD times. So after TD times this 1 liter per 1 liter fresh sludge digested, and the digested volume stands 0.5 liter per capita per day, that means digestion rate is 50%. So the volume VD equal to 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 3 into PTD. P is the person uses the tank, TD is the time required to digestion, that means this time. 10 to the power minus 3 is to convert this meter, this item from liter to meter cube, and 0.5 is as the fresh slush digested only 0.5. So this item is multiplied here with this equation. We will just need to remember this formula to calculate the volume Vd. And then slush storage. For slush storage we need a definite volume, and for slush volume it is depends on two factors. One is accumulation rate, that means C, unit will be in meter cube per person per year, and other item is the number of years for deslushing. And this is the same formula as the simple pit latrine. Let's see the formula. And this is the formula for slush storage volume, C into P into N. Here P is the number of person, N is the number of deslushing air, and C is the solid accumulation rate. And here C is 0.06 meter cube per person per year. When N will be less than 5, N, that means number of deslushing air is less than 5, and C will be 0.04 meter cube per person per year when N will be greater than 5. N means air, that means if when air of deslushing will be greater than 5, and then C will be 0.04. Then overall design capacity, that means overall volume, will be the sum of all volume we have seen in our previous slides. That means scum volume, sedimentation volume, digestion volume, and this dislodge volume. A sedimentation tank has 4 zones, so we have to add these 4 types of volume. In these design steps we have calculated VSC, VAS, VD and VSL. By summing these 4 items we will get the total volume. And as we know, VSC equal to 40% of VSL, that means 0.4 VSL. From here in equation 1, VSC equal to 0.4 VSL. So we will replace this value here, and the total volume stands VS plus VD plus 1.4 VSL. So using this equation we can calculate the overall volume of the sedimentation tank. Now clear space depth. Clear space depth means this depth, that means sedimentation zone depth. This is another name of this zone is clear space depth. This clear space depth, that means sedimentation zone depth, it depends on these 2 items, scum clear depth and slush clear depth. By summing these 2 clear depth we can calculate the sedimentation zone depth, that means clear space depth. Here the submerged scum clear depth is the distance between the underside of the scum layer and the bottom of the outlet T, and should be at least 75 mm. That means submerged scum clear depth, that means scum clear depth will be at least 75 mm, and this depth is from the under layer of the scum to the bottom of the outlet T. That means from this position is scum depth, bottom of the scum depth to the bottom of the outlet T. This space is the clear space of scum storage zone. The slush clear depth, that means this depth, slush clear depth, is the distance between the top of the slush layer to the bottom of the outlet T. Top of the slush layer to the bottom of the outlet T. If we see the figure, this is the top of the slush layer and this is the bottom of the outlet T. That means from here to here this distance is the slush clear depth, and we can calculate the slush clear depth using this equation, DSC, that means depth of scum clear depth, that depth of slush clear depth. Here A equal to cross sectional area of the tank, and this depth should be minimum 0.3 meter. That means minimum value should be 0.3 meter. Thus the minimum total clear space calculated as 0.075 plus DSC. Minimum total clear space. Total clear space, as here said, total clear space is the sum of submerged scum depth and sludge clear depth. Submerged scum clear depth minimum is 70 millimeter, that means 0.075 meter, and sludge clear depth is 0.3 meter minimum. If we use minimum depth, we will get the minimum total clear space 0.075 plus 0.3 meter or DSC. This is the minimum clear space, and this value must compared with the VH by A, this sedimentation depth value. This value must compared with the depth of this value and taken whichever is greater. VH by A, what is VH by A? VH is the depth of the volume of the sedimentation zone. VH is the volume of the sedimentation zone. Yes, here we can see VH is the volume of sedimentation zone. If we divided this volume by area, we will get the depth of sedimentation zone. So these two depth will be compared and the larger one will be taken. Let's now design a septic tank. See the question. Design a septic tank for a family of 10 persons. That means 10 persons will use a septic tank, and we will have to design this with a dislodging interval of 6 years. That means the value of N is 6 years. The average wastewater flow is 90 liters per capita per day. That means small value of small q is 90 liter. And the soil is silty loam with a long term infiltration rate of 20 liter per meter square per day. That means the value of I is 20 liter per meter square per day. Let's design this problem. First, we have picked the data stated in question here. Average wastewater flow rate, that means Q equal to 90 liter per capita per day. Design period N equal to 6 year. Design period or dislodging period N equal to 6 year. Infiltration rate I equal to 20 liter per meter square per day. Another value P equal to 10 person. To design a sedimentation tank, to design a septic tank, we need to calculate the volume of 4 items. That means sedimentation, volume of sedimentation zone, volume of digestion zone, volume of sludge zone, and volume of scum storage zone. As we see in the figure, these 4 items comprises the total volume of the septic tank. So if we can calculate this 4 volume, we can calculate, that means we have to calculate the total volume of a septic tank. First, we have calculated volume for sedimentation zone. Here volume for sedimentation V is equal to this equation 10 to the power minus 3 into P into Q into TIS, and this equation has picked from the design steps. If we see the design steps, volume for sedimentation is this one. So we have picked this equation just in this design steps. Here the volume of, here the value of P equal to 10, as 10% is using this septic tank. Q is the wastewater flow rate 90 liter per capita per day. Here Q equal to 90 liter per capita per day. To calculate the volume for sedimentation, we first need to calculate the time for sedimentation. So time for sedimentation, TH, can be calculated using this equation, and this have also stated in our design steps. If we see the course design steps or formula, this is the value equation for TH, that means equation to calculate the sedimentation time. So here in this equation, if we replace the value of P and Q, we can get the value of TH, and as we know P is 10 and Q is 90, so value of TH stands to 0.61, and this is greater than 0.2 days, so value of TH will be 0.61 days. As there is a limitation, again we can see the value of TH should not be less than 0.2. This limitation, there is a limitations, and our calculated value is greater than this 0.2 days, so we will use 0.61 day. Here TH is equal to 0.61 day, and the volume for sedimentation stands to 0.55 meter cube. Now we have to calculate volume for digestion, and this is the equation to calculate the volume of digestions, and here we need P, that means P equal to 10, and then TD equal to time required for digestion, and we can calculate the TD using this equation. Let's see the design steps and equation again. Here these are the two equations to calculate the TD. We have used this equation number 5 to solve that problem, and the volume of VD, volume of digestion, VD equal to 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 3 into P into TD. So here in this equation we have just input the value of T, and there is no data for temperature, so we have assumed the value of temperature as 25 degrees Celsius, and replacing T as 25 degrees Celsius, we have get value of TD equal to 42.32 day, and if we use this value in this equation, we can get VD, and the value of VD stands to 0.212 meter cube. So here we have calculated two volume for sedimentation and volume for digestion. Again we have the rest two volume to calculate. Then this is the equation to calculate the sludge storage, and this is similar to pit volume. Let's see the design steps and formula. This is the equation to calculate the sludge storage volume, and here the term C will be 0.04 as our N is 6, that means N is greater than 5, so we have to use C equal to 0.04 meter cube per person. So we use C equal to 0.04 meter cube per person as our value is greater than 5, and P is as usual number of person 10, N equal to 6, so sludge storage volume stands to 2.40 meter cube. Again scum storage VSC, it stands to 40% of VSL. Let's see the design steps again. VSC, volume of scum storage equal to 0.4, that means 40% of volume of sludge storage. So as our sludge volume is 2.4 meter cube, using this value we can calculate our scum storage volume equal to 0.96 meter cube, and the overall design capacity will be the sum of these four items, sum of these two and these two, total 4 items. and by adding this 4 item we have calculated the total volume as 4.12 meter cube. So our minimum volume will be 4.12 meter cube. Let's say area of the tank 3 meter square. There is no definite relation to assume surface area of the tank. There is no provision to take the surface area of the tank, but one thing we have to remember, that the tank area should be rectangular and length will be something greater than the width. And for single compartment there is a provision. If we construct the septic tank in a single compartment, there is a provision that length will be 3 times of the width. That means if length is 3 meter, the width will be 1 meter. But there is no definite or fixed provision for double compartment septic tank. So normally we will select this surface area based on our area, that means based on our construction area. So here let's assume the tank surface area will be 3 meter square, and using this surface area we will calculate the depth of the tank. We have calculated here the volume, and now we need to calculate the depth of the tank. Maximum depth of slash DSL will be the slash volume divided by area. Slash volume is 2.40, as here slash volume is 2.40. If we divided this volume into with area, we will get the depth of the slash equal to 0.8 meter. And the maximum depth of submerged scum depth at DSC will be volume of scum divided by same area, as volume of VSC equal to 0.96. So the maximum depth of submerged scum stands to 0.32 meter. Now scum clear depth 0.075 meter. This has stated in our design steps that the minimum value of scum clear depth should be 75 millimeters, that means 0.075 meter. Let's see the design steps. Here the submerged scum clear depth is the distance between the underside of the scum layer and the bottom of the outlet T, and should be at least 75 millimeter. Minimum value will be 75 millimeter, that means 0.075 meter, and that value has fit in that equation. Here scum clear depth 0.075 millimeter. Then slash clear depth, there is an equation to calculate the slash clear depth, and equation is 0.82 minus 0.26 A. Here A is the surface area of the tank, and here surface area is 3 meter square, and replacing A as 3 meter square, we can calculate slash clear depth as 0.04 meter. And there is a provision that that slash clear depth should be greater than or equal to 3 meter, and as this value 0.04 is less than 3 meter, so we will choose 0.3 meter as slash clear depth. So our slash clear depth will be 0.3 meter. Let's see the provision again to see the criteria. Here minimum value of slash clear depth will be calculated using this equation, and this value and minimum value will be 0.3 meter. So we used slash clear depth as 0.3 meter. Now total clear space equal to the sum of this two item, 0.3 plus 0.075 equal to 0.375 meter. Again we can see the design steps. Thus minimum total clear space calculated will be 0.075 plus DSC mean 0.3. So this will be the minimum clear space, and again we have to calculate the depth required for sedimentation using this equation, and we'll compare these two equation and we'll choose the greater depth. So our total clear space stands 0.3